How you going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's workshop. Glad you're here today. See what I have here? This is my speed square. Pretty handy tool to have, especially if you're going to make rafters. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make some rafters for our tractor enclosure. So I've decided I'm going to make my roof rafters out of 2x4s. Now, like I was saying earlier, I'm not a structural engineer, so I've decided to use 2x4. Whatever you decide, use your own discretion and take responsibility for your own actions. I think 2x4 is going to work good for my trusses. May not work good for yours. Bear that in mind. And I want the pitch on my roof rafters to be a 412 pitch. And what 412 pitch means is for every 4 units of vertical elevation you would go 12 units of horizontal elevation. So that's where you get the 412. It's rise over run. I've decided 412 pitch is a nice pitch for my roof. Plus, because the building is only 10 feet wide, then each half rafter, I'm going to call them, each half rafter can be 6 feet long, and it'll span the width of the building and still give me about an 8 to 9 inch eave over either side of the building. I think that's good. I get maximum use out of a piece of 2x4 that's 12 feet long that way. So anyway, how am I going to make these roof rafters? As we know, roof rafters, they come to a peak and there's a miter cut there. We have to know what angle to cut that miter cut so we can cut our rafters. The other thing is, all these rafters that I'm going to make, I have to make 11 in total, full rafters, full width rafters. I have to make 11 of them. The more identical they are, the better it'll be. If I can make them all exactly the same, that would be perfect, but it's not a perfect world, but they won't be perfect, but I need to make them as close to perfect as I can get them. So I need 11 of them. That means I need to cut 22 half rafters, 22 sticks, to make my rafters. Okay, that's a lot of cutting, and to repeat those cuts, get them exact every time, yeah, that's a tall order, but you want to make sure you do everything you can to get them as exact as you can make them. I discovered when my lumber showed up here in the yard the other day, I took the 12-foot pieces to make a rafter and I measured it, expecting to find it to be 12 feet long, and when I measured it, lo and behold, it was 12 feet 1/4 inch. Some of the sticks were 12 feet, some of them were 12 feet 1/4 inch. And to try to meet my goal of making all the rafters identical, if some of the sticks were 1/4 inch longer than the others, they wouldn't be identical. So what I did was, I took all my 2x4s and I measured them all, make sure they were all 12 foot. If they weren't, I cut them all at 12 feet. So make sure whatever your material is that you're using is the length that you expect it to be. Now, I know that this is 12 feet because I just measured it, so I'm going to make 2 rafters out of this, 2 half rafters. So I come to the center of the rafter at 62 or 72 inches. So that it's easier to see, I'm going to put this, draw the square line on there. And while I have the speed square, let me just talk about the speed square a bit. I hope you can see this, but speed squares are really, really handy to have. First of all, they have this flange on them. They have the flange here so that you can lock it on the side of your material to draw your square lines or you make your square cuts. They have a bunch of scales on them and they're all identified. This is inches on this side. It's degrees along this side. But the scales that we're interested in is this scale here. It's called a common scale. This one here is for top cuts. And there's even a scale on here for hip valley cuts. So this is a mighty handy tool for roofers. I'm going to be making common rafters, so I'm going to use the common scale down here. So all I need to know is to use the common scale and what pitch I want, and then this square will replicate the angle that I need to cut my rafters. How do we do that? Watch this. It's magic. Put your square down here and put the pivot point, this corner in here. You put that right where the right angle line is, meets this top edge of the board. Put you there, and then you pivot it away until, on the common scale, make sure you use the common scale now, till the 4 on the common scale meets up with the same edge, same face of the 2x4 that the pivot point is on. When it does that, you can draw a line here, and this becomes your plumb cut. How simple can that be, right? However, things are not as simple as they look. If I were to cut this here, I'm trying to make the rafters identical, don't forget, and I'm trying to make as much rafter as I can get out of one 12-foot stick. If I measure that, I know that that's 72 inches there, because I just measured it to half of the stick, but when I measure it from this side, this end cut is going to be 73 1/8 inch. The pieces aren't the same. We want to make our rafters identical. So what we can do to do that is we can take this plumb cut and move that at the center point of this vertical cut, line that we draw on here, we draw our plumb line or a plumb cut line right through that center part. So we have to find the center of the 2x4. To find that, you use your speed square again. It's a handy tool. Put that on there and you line up the far edge then with a number that's easily divisible by 2, because we want to divide this width of it in half. So that's going to be a 4 in this case. So the pivot is here, the 4 is there, and then you slide that up until the 2 on the scale intersects that square line that we drew. So that's the center of the 2x4. You could also measure it here, 1 7/8, or 1 3/4, 1 3/4. So that makes sense, but you know, some sticks aren't always 3.5 inches wide. You have to bear that in mind too. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to again set my pivot point here, move the 4 on the common scale, don't forget use the common scale, on the top face. And then I'm going to slide my speed square forward until this edge here meets where that center line was. Just something about like that. And I draw my line. So what happens now? This rafter on the long side is now 72 5/8. This rafter on the long side is 72 5/8. So this is the line that I want to use now to make my plumb cut. So I'll take this to the saw and I'll cut that right there. Then what I can do is, if you want your rafter tails to have plumb cuts on the tool, you can take your speed square down to the end, same thing, set that angle, set the 4 on the common scale to the same edge. You can cut your rafter tail, and then you can cut your rafter tail on that side. And then we should have 2 sticks that are identical with these plumb cuts. Isn't that simple? The rafters, the speed square, I'm telling you boys, it's a gift to carpenters. So I've got the saw set up now, and it just turns out that a 412 pitch is about 17.5 degrees. So I can set my saw to 17.5 degrees now and forget about it. And I just verified that by running the saw along that line. So we're going to cut this off here, but I want to make sure when I cut it, I take away all the line, not just cut on one side of it. So that looks like about right. We'll cut this end here. Now this one I just want to cut to the line. And the same with this end one. I need a new blade in my saw, I think. So what I've done is I've laid out these 2 rafters together here. This is what they're going to look like. I clamped this end so that it wouldn't move, and I made sure that this joint was good and tight, and then this comes down over here. So the building's going to sit in here, and the building's 10 feet wide. So what I want to do is I want to center the building on this truss, right? So if I measure from this edge all the way to this edge, it's 136 inches. So I have 136, but that's about 68. So if I make a mark right there at 68, now I moved back 5 feet either side of this center line, because my building is 10 feet wide, and I see where this intersects right there. Right? I'm going to measure 5 feet on this side. Now what I can do is I can measure from the tail here to that line. That's 8 1/4 inches. 8 1/4. So that's telling me that I got my building centered. Transfer this line up here. Now I need to cut a bird's mouth in here, right? Bird's mouth looks like this. Need to cut that part out. So how do I do that? Well, we know that this is the plumb cut, and that's 412 pitch. So if I pivot there and come back on the 4 on the common scale, always remember you have to measure it on the common scale, like so. That's going to be my plumb cut, and I'd like that to set down on there. I know I'm going to say 1 1/4 because I'm using 2x4 walls, so 1 1/4 should be plenty to give me a good seat cut. Okay, so there's going to be the plumb side of our bird's mouth. So, and it's up 1.25 inches. So what we do is we make this at right angles to that line. And with this square, sometimes it's hard to make it at right angles, but we can kind of cheat and do something like so. So now, one of the tricks of making a rafter is to cut this bird's mouth. So what I have is my Makita saw here, and I set the depth to maximum, as deep as it'll cut, to about 2.25 inches. So we're going to cut this seat cut here. We're going to cut right up to this line. Then we're going to flip it over. And what I've done is I've transferred the marks to the back side of it. Now I'm going to get my saw and finish this cut right up to this line. Then I want to cut this line here, this plumb cut line. Then we flip the rafter over again and we finish the cut on this side. Alright, now this piece should break out. Pretty simple, but there's still a little bit of waste right here, so we need a chisel to take care of that. So there we have it. Now we have our rafter. One rafter made that's going to sit on the wall, something like that. Join up with the other one. So this is going to be my model, and I'm going to use this rafter then to make all the other rafters. So I set my fence for 7.5 inches, and I have some scrap pieces of 3/8 plywood here, and we're going to cut a couple of pieces off of this. So my original thought was I'd make these gussets 24 inches wide and 7.5 inches deep. So I cut this stock I had 7.5 inches, but I found out that I was wasting a lot of it if I made them 24 inches wide. So I'm only going to make them 20 inches wide. Okay, so there's my gusset, 20 inches wide, 7.5 inches deep. But now I have to cut the peak on it, right? So here's my gusset now, so that should fit in here. Line that up at the center. That'll go in there about like that. I'll pound several nails in here, probably 2, 4, 6, maybe 8 on each side. And there'll be one here, one on the back side. So what I'm going to do, I think, before I go ahead and cut a whole bunch of rafters, and maybe I've made a mistake, is I'm going to nail this gusset on here, just on one side of it. I'm going to go try it on the building and see how it lines up and see if there's any tweaking that needs to get done before I go ahead and make the rest of them. So what I have here is 1.25 inch ring shank nails, they're called, so they anchor really good and they have good shear strength, so that's why I like to use these. So I set my gusset here, centered it at the peak. We're going to take this outside now and try it and just see how it fits. Well, that doesn't look too bad. Let's go look and see how we made out at the joints on the edges. That joint looks good there. It doesn't look too bad here either. So I'd say those trusses were cut okay. So I'm going to take that one back in the shop, take the gusset off it, and use the model piece that I made, and I'm going to cut the rest of the rafters and assemble them all, and then we just matter of sticking them up here. So I've been messing around here with a little bit of, trying to make a jig. I put some plates down on my bench, and I clamped them in place so that those plates won't move, and then I put some blocks all around on all the sides here to hold the truss in place. So when I cut out my new blanks, I'll be able to set them in here and replicate this truss to make it good. The other thing I want to do is, because my building is 20 feet long, I'm afraid the sides might start to bow out or cave in or whatever. So I'd like to put some cords. I'm going to call this a cord, goes from one side of the truss to the other. I'd like to put that on probably 4 of the trusses. Not every one of them, but 4 of them. And then once I put that on, also put this centerpiece in there just to give it a little bit of extra support. So what I've done is I've taken this is a piece of 2x4 that was 10 feet long. I set that on the truss and I marked where it needed to be cut. So then I just cut the angles here to fit in there. And the same with this piece in the middle. I just cut a peak cut on that so that that would fit in here in the center of the truss. And then this will go up here. And then what I'll have to do then for these ones is I'll have to cut some more gussets to go along here. I'd like to put a gusset, say like that, on there. And make a little gusset to put in here too, to hold that. This one will be secured with this gusset up here. All the rafters are going to have gussets on both sides, except the 2 gable rafters. They'll only have gussets on one side. Okay, so I'm starting to make my first, I'm going to call them complex rafters now. Not that they're complex, but they have more parts. This piece is going to go down here. And I have a gusset to go right across here, so we'll just locate that. Now I'm putting these gussets on first because I want to secure this bottom cord so I can make sure that I can get the dimensions proper for the center support strut. Alrighty, time to glue my truss. I like to, when I set it on, to wiggle it just to make sure that it gets the glue smeared around good. So I've got my gusset on this side now, and off camera I measured and cut this strut piece to fit in here. And I made a couple of little gussets just to sit in here to hold it at the bottom. This one is going to go here. Now the trick here is not to lean into this. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this guy on right now so that I don't lean into it. How'd that be? How's that for smart thinking? Okay, so that's that. Now we'll flip it over and put this gusset and this peak gusset on the other side and do the 2 ends of the cord gusset, and this guy will be ready. All right, so there's what I'm going to call a complex rafter, right? All right, I made 11 rafters in total. Not a bad afternoon's work, eh? And of all those rafters I counted them up, I made 64 gussets, and each gusset had at least 10, 12 nails in it. So yeah, you use a lot of nails too. So thanks for watching. Tune in next time when we put the rafters on the building and stand them up and start making the roof on my tractor enclosure. Don't forget to thumbs up me. Have a great week wherever you are, and we'll talk to you soon.